Fletcher, Sales Director of Sub-Saharan Africa at Ruckus Wireless, joins me now about the state of Wi-Fi in Africa and how Wi-Fi is driving innovation across different sectors. A very good afternoon to you, Michael. Well, talk us through the current state of Wi-Fi in Africa. I bet Kenya is up there when it comes to connecting its people.
Yeah, absolutely. So the current state of Wi-Fi in Africa, it's growing. And I think it's doing a lot better than most people think. So we're seeing more and more free places, Rwanda, Kenya. I mean, if you live in Chwani, you don't have to walk very far to get free Wi-Fi. But, nowadays it's virtually impossible to go to an hotel or a mall and not find Wi-Fi, whether it's for a fee or free.
So what have been the main drivers of growing demand for Wi-Fi on the continent?
So it's mostly demand from consumers. You get a new phone, your new phone's got more pixels, so you just need more and more. But it's not just demand, it's been able to do it more cost effectively. Obviously in the enterprise space, if you arrive in an office and you have a new MacBook Pro, it doesn't have an Ethernet port. So if you want to be connected, it has to be on Wi-Fi. But I mean, if we go down to the lower end of the market, if you're buying mobile data and you need to buy 100 megs a day, it's going to cost you about $50. Put that together over 30 days, that's 1,500 Rand that you're paying for in data. If you live in Chwani and you can get it from Project to Sizwe, you're getting that practically for free. But it's not just from a consumer point of view. If you look at the reasons that the cities are doing it, it's being able to connect people, and you have the ability to also reduce your costs. But one example with it in the smart city side of it is with parking meters. So down in Cape Town, the parking attendants, when they connect back into the systems, they're doing it all over cell phones, and that comes with considerable cost. So doing that over Wi-Fi, you've got a sunk cost that's there, and that's all that you have to pay. And then also using it to be able to locate parkings, using location services as well.
You mentioned smart cities, and how does Wi-Fi actually promote smart cities, and does the term really stick with emerging markets like ours?
It's starting to in the emerging markets. I mean, if we take a good example is San Jose in California, which is very much a destination for conferences. So from the time that you arrive in San Jose Airport, there's just Wi-Fi wherever you go. If you try and find a parking bay, there's Wi-Fi all around. And we're trying to do the same thing, particularly in Cape Town. We've got a convention center. There's another one coming on board soon. So it's all just finding ways of connecting people. But it goes further than that. I mean, there's a Smart Cities convention coming up next month, and one of the things that they're talking about is dealing with trash. And so there's different ways of municipalities monitoring the situation with trash. Instead of doing it on a weekly basis where the guys arrive, on a Tuesday, they now know what's happening in real time. So the same with telemetry when it comes to reading of meters. There's a whole lot of cost-effective ways of doing things, and so the smart cities thing is becoming real, and it's getting a lot of traction in Africa as well.
Good news here. The city of Johannesburg has just announced that Braamfontein gets 100% free Wi-Fi as part of that broader smart city project. This looks like a big win for Johannesburg.
Well, absolutely. I mean, Chwani jumped out ahead of everyone probably 2 years ago, and then some of the other metros slowly followed. But now that we've got two big metros that are going kind of wholesale into Wi-Fi, it just bodes well for everyone else, because it was a case everyone was watching and seeing what was happening with Chwani. Now Joburg or Braamfontein's jumped in, and we're hoping to see, other metros do the same thing, Cape Town and Nelson Mandela as well. But again, all good for the consumer. So if you're the guy who's paying $1,500 a month for, broadband via the cellular networks, suddenly your life got a whole lot better.
Well, that's awesome news. Thank you so much, Michael. Michael Fletcher, Sales Director, Sub-Saharan Africa at Ruckus Wireless.